Hi, I'm Mike, and today I'm going to talk to you about the global clean water crisis. When was the last time you worried about where your drinking water came from, whether from the tap or a bottle? My guess is you might not be able to remember like most of us because it's not a common problem that we face every day. But this privileged experience isn't the reality for millions around the world who live without a clean drinking source. Our world in data defines acceptably clean water as properly filtered water coming from an improved and regularly maintained water source or service, such as piped water on premises, public taps, protected boreholes, dug wells or springs, and rainwater collection. According to the World Health Organization, 785 million people, 1 in 10 people on Earth, or twice the size of the US population, do not have access to a clean water source. This means that they are drinking contaminated water from rivers, lakes, and streams. This is a tragedy on a global scale that cannot be ignored because it is so solvable. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the negative impact dirty water has on individuals and communities, as well as the positive impacts of clean water. Then we're going to take a look at how charity water gets clean water to rural areas around the world. And finally, I'm going to explain how you can get involved in a very solvable problem. Just because you have basic access to drinking water, service, or source doesn't mean that it's clean. According to the World Health Organization, globally, a staggering 2 billion people use a drinking water source that is contaminated with feces, which can lead to diseases such as cholera, typhoid, polio, and dysentery. The World Count states that this contaminated water is responsible for over 3.5 million deaths a year, of which 2.2 million are children under the age of 5. Breaking that down, that is 1 death every 10 seconds. The last well states that most individuals belong to communities which are also negatively impacted by unsafe water, including inability to work and go to school caused by communal outbreaks of disease, and excessive amounts of time going and gathering clean water, which could be used towards more productive activities such as working, going to school, and cultivating crops. However, once communities do gain access to clean water, the results are life-changing. The Water Project claims or says that clean water leads to clean hands, healthy bodies, and a reduce of sickness and illness, allowing more time for people to work, go to school and get an education, which lifts communities out of poverty, and also leads to food security through healthy means of cultivation of crops and livestock. Now that we've explored the importance of access to clean water for all communities around the world, let's look at how Charity Water works to make this a reality. According to Charity Water, since its beginning by Scott Harrison in 2006, it has funded over 56,000 water projects in 29 countries and gotten clean water access to over 11.4 million people. From the beginning, Charity Water pledged that 100% of all public donations would go towards funding these water projects, and thus far, over 1 million people in over 100 countries have helped people in need. This 100% model is made possible by a small group of dedicated donors and investors who cover the cost of all overhead and operating expenses. In order to accomplish the work on the ground, Charity Water identifies and partners with carefully chosen local organizations in rural areas to bring water to the most remote places and communities of greatest need, as well as the most vulnerable populations. The process of collaborating with these organizations is threefold. First is the planning. Local partners strategically select water points based on a host of different factors, including geography, community participation, and long-term sustainability. They also figure out which water system is appropriate for which community. 2, implementation. In addition to the actual construction process, local partners spend months establishing community buy-in, promoting safe hygiene practices, and building capacity to manage the projects. And 3, the post-implementation includes local partners working with and empowering local leaders using sound operations and maintenance structures to make sure that these projects are successful for years to come. The final component of each project is the proof to donors and investors that the project is working as it should. This is accomplished by providing GPS coordinates on a map for each project, as well as sensor data showing how much clean water has flown through each system year to date in real time. So how much money would it really take to end the clean water crisis? According to Reuters, in 2017, World Bank conducted a cost analysis of how much it would be to bring clean water to every human being on Earth. The number was $150 billion. This may seem like a lot of money, but let's put it in context. According to the Department of Justice, the U.S. alone spent $220 billion on defense spending this year. Could you imagine if we cut that spending down by $150 billion and bought less guns, missiles, and warships? We could end the water crisis ourselves. Or, to think of it another way, if every person in the U.S. donated $1.25 a day for 1 year about the cost of a cup of coffee, clean water for all. Furthermore, this wouldn't even be a reoccurring cost since the new infrastructure would already be in place. All that would be needed after would be maintenance and monitoring costs. So, you may be wondering, how can you get involved? Well, it's easy. Simply go to charitywater.org and you can see a variety of ways that you can donate. You can donate once, monthly, host your own fundraiser, donate non-cash assets such as real estate, or even list Charity Water as a beneficiary in your will. Lastly, Charity Water has partnered with Amazon Smile and a variety of other brand partners who give a portion of all proceeds sold back to the cause. So, the next time you're online, make sure you buy from these partnered companies and make sure that Amazon Smile is your charity that you select. That Charity Water is your charity you select from Amazon Smile. Today we've explored the negative and positive effects that clean water can have on individuals and communities, how Charity Water accomplishes its mission of providing water to millions of people around the world in rural areas, and how you can get involved. According to Charity Water, it costs $40 a year to bring clean water to one person. My research on this topic has inspired me to sponsor 12 people a year, one every month. I hope this presentation has also inspired you to take action and make a difference and spread the word about this easily solvable clean water crisis that affects over 2 billion people on Earth. Thank you for your time and attention.